We know that lambdas are smart. They can figure out many things from the context, like input parameters and the target method, the target interface, which needs to be called. But sometimes there is a conflict, in which case the lambdas are not able to figure out some things from the context. And these conflicts need to be resolved explicitly. So we will cover one of such cases in this video. So in this use case, we have two functional interfaces. The first functional interface is basically with name sum functional interface. It has a single method sum which returns an integer and accepts two integer parameters. And similarly, we have another functional interface for multiply. The signature is almost same because it is returning an integer. The name is multiply, but it accepts two integer parameters. Now we have the runner class, and in the runner class we have two overloaded methods with name m1, but m1 is accepting the sum functional interface along with two integer parameters, and similarly the overloaded version of m1 accepts multiply functional interface with two input parameters. Now we intend to call m1 to do the summation of two numbers. To do that, we started writing this code. Int sum result equals to, we know that we have to call the m1, and there are two overloaded versions and we need to do the summation. So what we did, we selected this one, and first of all we will pass a lambda here, then two numbers as input parameters, so 5 and 6. Now we know that this is a functional interface, so we can pass a lambda here, and because we need to do the summation, so we go to this functional interface. We checked the method signature, so it accepts two parameters. So in the lambda there will be two input parameters, then the body, which is simply x and y. But now there is a conflict, there is an error. So if we mouse over, it says that ambiguous method call. The problem is the signature is exactly same for both the functional interfaces. As far as this lambda is concerned, because there is no name, no method name, so there is a conflict. There is an ambiguity because the context is matching with both the interfaces. Now, if we talk about this version, it checks that, okay, this is the sum functional interface. It accepts two parameters. Yes, there are two parameters. Then it returns an integer. Yes, we are returning the integer because the output of x plus y is an integer. But at the same time, this is matching exactly with the multiply functional interface. Here also we have two input parameters, integer and an integer return type. So there is a conflict and it cannot figure out which version to invoke. In that case, we need to resolve the conflict. We need to provide some information explicitly so that it is clear which version, which method we need to call. All right. So to do that, we simply add a cast. So here we are saying that, yes, this is the lambda that we are passing, but we intend to call the summation functional interface. Because the signature is exactly same and there was a conflict, so we added a cast explicitly to the sum functional interface, and now it knows that, okay, it has to call this m1. So the conflict is no longer anymore. All right. So this is a tricky case and we need to remember this case. See you in the next video.